Welcome to the NFL Contest Show. I am your host, Jesse Flynn. It is week 4 of the Circa Millions contest. And we have got our 5 selections for this week's slate. We will be revealing them here shortly, along with the selection reveal from VSiN. I'll check now. It's only 6 o'clock. The VSiN release show should be coming on now, so should be any minute now. But yeah, we're 2 minutes away from halftime here in Oregon. Oh, why is that? Why did it do that? In Oregon, Penn State. There we go. And we are tied at 3. Now, my parlay that I shared on X for today's slate, 0-2 so far. Lost them both. I had Texas A&M minus the 6.5. They won by 6, and I took LSU money line. I thought their offense and defensive lines would be able to handle Ole Miss, but Lane Kiffin, he's been the darling of the media the last week. I thought maybe it was a letdown spot with all the hype they've been getting, but they got the job done. And they looked really good doing it, too. They really made their offensive line for LSU look pretty inept. They were only rushing 3 down linemen, dropping 8 into coverage, and they were still getting pressure on the quarterback, which is, no easy feat. But when you've got those kind of athletes, guys that are going to be, the Derek Brown played for Auburn, but, guys like that they've had on their defense that have gone on to the NFL. When you have that kind of talent on your team, you can get away with only, rushing 3 guys. So hats off to them. Florida State losing, that's a big upset of the week. That was on Friday, but they, that's going to shake up the top 10. So can't wait to see what we got going on. But I also took Penn State minus the 3.5 and Georgia minus 2. So not looking so good. Not looking so good. I admit I am not the biggest, handicapper of college football. I do like it. I like laying down some, low money parlays, maybe $25 or whatever. Not much, but do like a 3-teamer in the morning, maybe one in the afternoon, or I'll do like the primetime games and just try to, have a little action on the games. But I definitely don't put the time in on college football the way I do with the NFL. Although with the results lately in the Circa Millions, at least, it hasn't seemed that way. Currently sitting at 6-9, 2-3 last week. Tough beat with Baltimore on Monday Night Football, but with Matabuke now going on the injured reserve with his neck injury, it really showed that Baltimore is vulnerable to a team that can just impose their will on them with the offensive line. And, Derrick Henry, the fumbles, that'll get straightened out. That's definitely not the norm, but, it's tough. But so we are 6-9 on the season. If we can finish 10-10, I'd be happy. With the way things have started and the way things have gone these first couple of weeks, I would be more than happy with. Now, obviously, 11-9 is better. That'd be 5-0. But I would be more than happy at 50% after 4 weeks. We still got plenty of contests to go. You go back to back 5-0s from where we're sitting right now. We would be right around the top 100. We would be in that range where another good week would put us, close to the top 100. And you need to be up there. You need to be up there near. You can't keep drifting back the way I have been these, with the losing weeks 1 and weeks 3, because the guys in front are not losing right now, although they will. Little recap of last week. Let me move this. Nope, wrong one. Let's move this back to the millions last week. The standings as they are right now. First place all by himself. He is the one, is the entry. He's 14-1 right now, no undefeateds, but these are the guys that are competing for the first quarter prize because the first quarter ends after this week. It's 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks is the way it goes with 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. He is the one, 14-1. We'll be able to see what his picks are once the picks are released to see if maybe there are some people who used Seattle Thursday night, if he got a point, or if he went with Arizona and lost. But this is the money week for these guys. Believe me, I was there. I was 15-0. Was the only one 15-0, and I went 3-2 week 4. And there was 4 other entries that were within striking distance of me, and they caught me. So first place in the quarterly prizes is $170,000. Second place is $50,000. Third place is $30,000, and then you have the booby prize, last place, which is $25,000. Which I'll tell you, trying to lose is really hard. Trying to pick losers is definitely hard. But when I won, because we were tied, you add all the prize money up together and you split it amongst the entries that tied. So because there was 5 of us, it's $250,000. We each got $50,000. I got the big check in the back. I think it's kind of audacious to put it in the background, though. Maybe when I get my own studio, if I win the million. If I win the million, I'll definitely frame the check, the big check, and have the blue jacket up. But we're a long ways away from that. But so he is the one. Odd Couple sitting at 13-2. Wrenchy sitting at 13-2. And then you've got 26 entries at 12-3. Now, I have seen it in this contest where you have people like, say he is the one, just for example. He's at 14-1 right now. He could go 1-4, finish 15-5, and as great as his first 3 weeks have been, he might not even make the money. Because if one of these guys goes 5-0 or 4-1, you know what I mean? These 26 entries at 5-0 or 4-1 are sitting at 16-4, 17-3. That's a fucking awesome start to the season, and it would knock this guy out. And I've seen it happen where people are right there. They're leading in the quarterly prize, and that final week, you know, the pressure's on. It's really, I mean, I sweated it. I had to go to the ramen shop and get some ramen soup because my stomach was like killing me. And it was like, like instead of traditional chicken noodle soup, I went with ramen because there was a great ramen shop in the Chinatown in Vegas, over there in Spring Mountain. If you're ever over there, it's pretty cool. It's all anime decorated on the inside, and the food's really good. But so, yeah, I get it. It's a stressful situation when you're the leader, you're the hunted, and everybody's trying to catch you, and you don't want to make a mistake. You know, you don't want to waste this incredible start, even though it's put you in a great position to win over the full season. You still don't want to waste this opportunity to cash now, because 4 weeks into the season, you're sitting with, if you win it by yourself, $170,000. You know what I mean? Cha-ching, house money. You know, that's how I looked at it, and it was the best season I've had so far. I finished in 53rd place after that incredible start of 18-2. Out of 5,000, there was like 5,200, I think, in that one. So pretty damn good. But so we're going to be keeping an eye on them when the picks are released. Circa releases the PDF of all the entries and all the picks. And we can go through, because we know the team names, and see exactly who they picked. And we will do that while we're watching this second half of the Oregon Penn State game. We've got another great game, Georgia and Alabama. I'm holding Georgia -2, so I need the dogs to step it up. It would be nice. But yeah, it's a fun spot to be in when you're leading. I'll tell you that much. It's better to be there than it is behind. But all right, we'll come back to this once the picks are released. I don't see. I can refresh VSIN real quick. on X and see if they're released anything yet. Oh, here we go. Okay. We'll do a real quick recap of this just so we can move on. Week 3 results for the Circa Survivor. We talked about this. 3,150-ish picks were eliminated. So 13,811 still remaining. It's still a lot of entries, but we're going to have one of those big loser weeks. I mean, we've seen some big numbers and some teams come close. I mean, the Bucks certainly could have been part of this catastrophe, but they got it done. But it's coming. It is definitely coming. And then we've got the Grandissimo with the $100,000 buy-in, $6.9 million to the winner. Winner takes all. Survivor contest. We had 10 eliminations last week. We're down to 58. Each entry right now is implied value of basically 119,000. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. But $100,000 to enter this contest. That's why there's only 69 entries. I don't expect it to go the full 20 weeks. We talked about that. But all right, let's get rid of this. We'll pull this up. Here we go. I'm already seeing something here. We've got the top 5. Now, I'm not surprised. I put it in my notes after the fact when it happened. The Atlanta Falcons being the number 1 pick. With all the injury news, the line shifted completely the other way. It went from Atlanta +1 at home to Atlanta -2.5 in some places. So we are I'm not totally surprised by that. What is it now? Yeah, -2.5 in some places. So the Atlanta Falcons are the number 1 pick at almost 2,000 entries out of the 5,600 or so that are in this contest. Quite a bit. A lot of people, shaking off that 30-0 shutout last week because they actually did outgain the Carolina Panthers in most of the offensive metrics. They just turned the ball over and they weren't converting on third downs. They weren't moving the ball into the red zone. Missed field goals. I mean, there was just a whole lot going on in that one. But number 1 pick at 1,950. Number 2, not surprising. This is one of the most bet sides of the week. The Green Bay Packers, -6.5. Now, in the line release show, we talked about this one, and the Cowboys -6.5 were actually one of the. It was the last pick that I eliminated, and put in my 5th pick. I knew Green Bay was going to be the popular side, but I'm just not confident in the Cowboys' pass rush. Even though Green Bay's offensive line has got some injuries, I don't see it. I mean, I know, and this is even more evidence of why you should be on the Cowboys side, but I just didn't want anything to do with it, so I got rid of it. I almost went with Green Bay, but I'm like, I know it's going to be a top 5 selection, and I don't want to be in the top 5 if I can avoid it. Number 3, 1,647 people are backing the Minnesota Vikings -2.5 over in Dublin against the Steelers. Again, another heavily bet game. About 80% of the tickets were on Minnesota, according to some of the guys on X that are sponsored by these sports books or the casino giving out their betting data. Not surprising again. Minnesota looked great last week. Aaron Rodgers struggles against the blitz. Pittsburgh was very fortunate to win that game against New England. They needed 5 fumbles and they recovered all of them to win that game by a touchdown. So I'm not surprised, but Pittsburgh tends to play close games. They did go over to Ireland a little bit early, so they were there early enough to get acclimated to the time difference. So I didn't want to mess with this one again because I would have had to go with Minnesota because I agree with what I've been hearing, in the media and everything. But at the same time, if you're hearing the same thing over and over and over again from all the same people, from all the different people that are in this content arena, it seems like they're repeating the same things over and over again. When you start hearing that stuff, it's like, you know what? If everybody's saying the same thing, maybe we're not looking at the right stuff. So I left it alone, didn't touch it, and good thing I didn't because it's the number 3 selection in the Circa Millions contest. Number 4, Los Angeles Rams -3.5, 1,639. So just a few more or less than Minnesota. Rams looked really good at times in that game against Philadelphia. I mean, obviously, everybody, if you're a football fan, you saw the end of that Philadelphia LA Rams game with the way not only did they not win the game, blocking the punt, okay, they lose the game by 1, they would have covered because they were getting points on the road, but the guy the Carter runs it all the way back for the touchdown to blow that +3.5. So I'm actually kind of surprised that this many people are on the Rams, but I also think a lot of people are seeing things as the Colts, they're 3-0. They've looked good. They've kind of played some flawed competition, and the Rams by far are going to be the best team they're going to see in the first 4 weeks of the season, particularly on defense. I think the Rams pass rush can certainly get after Daniel Jones and stymie him. The only thing that concerns me about that with Daniel Jones is he is athletic. He can run. We've seen him do it before. Is like the RPOs, because the Rams kind of struggled with Jalen Hurts last week. Jalen Hurts gashed him pretty good. Saquon Barkley really didn't have that great of a game, but Jalen Hurts made up for it with some of his quarterback runs. Now, I don't consider Daniel Jones Jalen Hurts, but he can move. He is athletic. And it concerns me, but I think the Rams, having seen it, they're going to be prepared for it. They know what they're looking for, and I just like their defense. And then the offensive side, Matthew Stafford does good when he's not pressured. The Colts haven't really been getting pressure on the quarterback. I think they have 8 sacks, but a bunch of them came against the Titans, so take that how you will. They are good against the play action, which is where Matthew Stafford excels. But if you're going to give him time with Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum looked good last week, and Whittingham, if you give him time, he's going to carve you up. So I'm not sure this Colts defensive front is up to the challenge of getting pressure on Matthew Stafford, particularly in LA, where they're not going to have a big fan contingency of Indianapolis fans. If this was a New England or like a maybe an East Coast team that was coming in, or Chicago maybe, you would certainly have plenty of fans in Los Angeles, but not Indy. I don't see it. So the Rams will have they'll have noise on their side, and it'll be quiet when they're on offense. Finally, the 5th and final pick of the top 5 for Circa Millions, the Los Angeles Chargers -6.5, going to New York to take on the New York Giants and their new quarterback, Jackson Dart. A rookie quarterback, first start in the NFL, laying the 6.5. The Chargers have looked good. I believe they're 2-1 on the year, or maybe they're 3-0. But they, let's see if it says it on here. They are the number 5 pick. Where is it? Up here. There we go. Let me see what their record is. Oh, they are. Okay, yeah, they are 3-0. The undefeated Los Angeles Chargers taking on the rookie quarterback. Now, the New York Giants, they do have their defensive front, and the Chargers' offensive line is missing some pieces. Their defense hasn't looked terrible at times. And maybe Jackson Dart can open up this offense a little bit and, do some things that Russell Wilson wasn't doing. He's a little more athletic. They can run the RPOs. Cam Scatabo, I think he could have a big game. We could see him plowing into the offensive line, gaining yards and wearing down that defense. But the Los Angeles Chargers, number 5 pick at -6. So let's go through. We can start on my top 5 picks for week 4 of the Circa Millions contest. And the first pick is, ta-da, the New York Giants +6.5. Why did I play the New York Giants? Some of the things I just said. I do think the offense won't struggle as much. I think Jackson Dart might open it up a little bit better. They're pretty healthy. They got their Andrews, their tackle back. Like I said, Scatabo, Neighbors is going to play. I did have some reservations because he wasn't practicing all week, but they've practiced throughout the preseason and they practiced, during the week. So they are familiar with one another, but I really would have liked it if Neighbors had practiced all week with Dart so they were on the same page. But I still think that, he's such a good receiver. He makes such good contested catches that I think he'll be okay. The Giants defense looking pretty healthy, and I think the pass rush is going to be able to keep them in this game. I'm not really sold on the receivers for the Los Angeles Chargers. They've looked good, but they've looked good against inferior competition. Not really like the Giants are, knocking people out. I mean, they gave up 40 points or whatever it was, 30-something points to the Dallas Cowboys offense. But, Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are pretty good. So and this is more of a contest play. I was very sure that Chargers were going to be pretty popular in this contest. And even if they do win, I don't know if they're going to win by margin. This is a, non-conference matchup, so they're not really, they don't see each other a lot. And I don't think the Chargers are really going to just try to blow them out. If they're going to do anything, they're going to try to win this game and get out of Dodge without any injuries. They've got a 3-game lead on their division right now. They've beaten all 3 of their division opponents, so not too bad. So first pick, the New York Giants +6.5. Next up, New England Patriots -5.5. I talked about it on Thursday. They're not a bad offense. Penalties are hurting them. Missed tackles on defense are hurting them. But they're one of the better teams sacking the quarterback now. They're really good against the run. They're getting back Gonzalez, I believe, in the secondary. They've looked good. They've created turnovers. And now they're taking on the Carolina Panthers at home, who just beat the Falcons 30-0. Everybody saw the final score. But the box score, if you look at it, the Atlanta Falcons outgained them in the offensive metrics. They just too many turnovers and too many 3rd down and 4th downs that they didn't convert. That just cost them in that game. It wasn't a very good performance by Atlanta. I don't really think it was a great performance by the Carolina Panthers. Might have been some good game planning, but that's about it. But the penalties can be cleaned up. The tackling's getting better. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball as Chuba Hubbard's been banged up. I know he's playing, and so is Tet McMillan, but if they can get pressure on Bryce Young and if they can slow down the running game, then the play action isn't there. And that's where Bryce Young, is at his best because he's too short. He needs time to see over that line, and he needs windows in between those big bodies up front in order to see downfield. So I think the Patriots can cover this one. I expected the Carolina Panthers to be the more popular side, and they are getting a more of the tickets and more of the money than the New England Patriots because nobody's wanting to lay 5.5 with a team that lost and had 5 turnovers, 5 fumbles last week against the Steelers. But it's just such a fluky game. Same thing with Carolina's game. It was such a fluky game that I'm fading one of the teams that looked the best last week while taking a team that won in a very freakish way, or lost in a very freakish way. I mean, even with all the 5 fumbles, they still had an opportunity to win that game. 2 of them were inside their 5-yard line where they were going in for points. So I think they're getting their act together. This is a team that was just put together, a lot of free agents, new coaching staff, and they're also playing for their defensive coordinator. I forgot that he was just diagnosed with prostate cancer. And, when you've got a group of players, motivated more than just to win the game for themselves, but they're trying to, help get the morale up of their coach who's dealing with a very serious health issue all of a sudden. I think that could be a big factor in this game. I think Carolina Panthers they're fat and happy after that nice win last week. They're maybe reading the headlines a little bit, thinking they're a better team than they are. I think they're going to lose. They'll lose by 7 or more to New England. It won't be an easy sweat. It's going to be a sweat, though. I'm sure it'll come down to them needing to stop Carolina from scoring at the end of the game to get within the number. But I'm willing to lay the 5.5 with New England here. So that is my second pick. New England Patriots minus 5.5. Next up, we talked about it before. And normally, again, I don't use them, but so they've won once, lost once last week, and I'm going back to the well with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I liked them before the number swapped. I looked at the game. I watched the game back after the initial broadcast, as I do all the games, and looked through the box score, looked at the metrics, and the Falcons, like I said, they were better than Carolina. I don't know what was going on with the play calling, why they wouldn't throw the ball over the middle or really downfield. It was a lot of swing passes to the backs and a lot of out routes to the receivers. But I think they're gonna open it up. They got rid of their wide receiver coach and brought one of their other coaches out of the booth down to the sideline. So they had some communication issues. So they brought him down. We saw that too. That Penix kept trying to say, "Hey, I'm not getting the plays," and he just didn't look very comfortable. They were rushing to snap the ball, and he wasn't having time to diagnose the defensive front. So I think this will help with that. And again, Washington does have a lot of injuries, and as good as they looked last week against the Raiders, a big chunk of their success came from the special teams, and the Falcons' special teams are actually pretty good. Their field goal kicking's been the question mark, but their kick returning and their kick coverage has been really good. So I don't see them having that kind of advantage that Washington had. And being without McLaurin, being without Daniels for another week, being out without Noah Brown, there's several other, obviously they lost Eckler for the year. Being without all these key players, it's going to come back to hurt you. And, the Falcons just got to win this game. And this is must win. After losing 30-0 to your division rival, a team that you were a favorite of, Arthur Blank, the ownership is not looking too kindly on Raheem Morris right now. And so he may not be on the hot seat, but, they're getting ready to start turning the dial up a little bit. It's going to get warm. It's lukewarm right now, but it's getting it could be warming up if they lose this game. So there's a lot riding on this game, and the Falcons really need this. They need to get to 500, and get back on track with their offense. Score some touchdowns, man, and you don't have to worry about your field goal kicker missing kicks if you just score touchdowns, and I think they'll be able to do it against this Washington defense. So for my third pick, I went with the Atlanta Falcons +1, which ended up being the number 1 pick in the Circa Millions. Now, hey, last week the picks went 1 and 4, but it was the number 1 pick, the Chargers -2.5 that covered. So maybe we'll get lucky with that one. We'll have the number 1 pick cover. So my fourth selection for week 4 is another top 5 pick, and it's the Los Angeles Rams. Now, I understand why people would want to take the Colts. +3.5 seems like an easy decision, right? With the way the team's been playing, but that's what they want. Why hasn't this line moved? Because the sports books feel comfortable. They're fine with the number where it is. Now, a lot of the betting, it's been pretty equal. It's not there's not as much lean on one side. I mean, I know the Colts are going to be the more popular side, and they're going to need the Rams in like money line parlays and teasers and shit like that. So I wanted to go with the Rams because I assumed the Colts were going to be a more popular team. I really thought plus 3.5 with them, the 3.5 with the Bucks, and the 3.5 with the Jags were all really fishy lines. They just seem too good to be true, where you're getting over a field goal with teams that are supposed to be good. But the Rams are good. And I believe in Stafford and everything I said about the offensive lines. The offensive lines for the Colts, the pass rush for the Rams, getting after the quarterback. I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball as well as they have. They just need to be able to play the RPOs right. And again, the Colts defensive front not really getting pressure on the quarterback. You give Matthew Stafford time. Devontae Adams is playing. Puka's playing. They looked good with their run game last week with Kyron Williams. So, yeah, I'm all in on the Rams as my fourth pick in the Circa Millions contest. Now, my fifth and final pick for Week 4 is the Miami Dolphins minus 2.5 at home Monday night against the Jets. Jets look good against the Bucks, but they need a bunch of special teams plays just to be in that game. And now they're getting Justin Fields back, but I don't see that as an upgrade. I understand he's more athletic than Tyrod, but he's also more reckless with the ball than Tyrod. And it doesn't impress me. They haven't been able to run the ball. They're not a very good offense. And this is like make or break for Miami. They're at home. Their offense isn't terrible. The defense for the Jets is missing some pieces in the second level. And I think they could be exploited because we know Tua likes to get the ball out quickly, get the ball into these speedsters, and let them do their thing. Neither one of these teams has an interception. And the Jets aren't really big on interceptions. The Sauce Gardner and the other guy, their other cornerback, they're not really ball hawks. They're not really. Now, I know the Miami Dolphins secondary is missing a bunch of defensive backs, which I found out. I mean, I knew Storm Duck was questionable, but I thought he was going to play. But it looks like their secondary is going to be thin. But, again, the Jets are not some high-powered passing offense. So I'm not really concerned about it as long as they can play up to the level that they played against the Buffalo Bills. They've had extra time to prepare because it was the Thursday night game that they played in, while the Jets had to go down to Tampa, play in that heat. And then, what an emotional roller coaster that was for them to have an opportunity to win that game. And then Baker Mayfield takes the ball down the field for the game-winning field goal. And they're flying back to New York on the plane, losing. So my fifth and final pick is the Miami Dolphins minus 2.5 at home, taking on the New York Jets. So again, my 5 selections are the Miami Dolphins, the Los Angeles Rams minus 3.5, which was the number 4 pick, the Atlanta Falcons +1, which is the top pick this week. Makes me nervous. New England Patriots minus 5.5, not in the top 5. And the New York Giants +6.5, who are contrarian to the 5th most popular pick. Those are my 5 selections for Week 4 of the NFL contest, Circa Millions. Hopefully we get a 5-0. Really, really need it. Really want to finish this first quarter above 500. 11-9 wouldn't be the worst thing because we could have another good week and be right back in the playing for the money, being right around the top 100 entries. But yeah, that's it. Those are my 5 selections for week 4 of the Circa Millions contest. Let me refresh this. Okay, we've got some other stuff here. But all right, so that is the conclusion of the NFL contest show, as we've got our 5 selections up. We'll be streaming after the Monday Night Football game on Late Night at the Lounge right here on YouTube. So be sure to join us Monday night, and we can discuss our results. Hopefully we're talking about a 5-0 and where we're standing and what we like for week 5. But now I'm gonna end the recording and stick around for the third quarter of these great college football games for the CFB watch party, and we're gonna go over some of these selections from the other contests. All right. And so we've got the top 5 picks for week 4 of the Circa Survivor. 13,000, roughly 14,000 entries still remain. And the number 1 pick, not surprising, is the Buffalo Bills, taking on the New Orleans Saints as somewhere around 16-point favorites. I mean, it's ridiculous, that line. Although the Buffalo Bills tend to always get a big double-digit spread at some point in the season because they always win by the margin. They tend to win games by double digits, so not surprised. But, yeah, 4,130 entries. I mean, if something were to happen, some fluky something, and New Orleans was able to pull off the upset, I mean, that would be devastating. Devastating to the... There would be basically 25% of the entire contest is on this one team here. The second most popular pick at 36.94 is the Houston Texans. They are playing the Tennessee Titans, so again, not surprising that they're a popular side here. Buffalo doesn't play on either one of the holidays, and I don't believe Houston does either. So not surprising that these teams are being used early in the season, at least Buffalo, because you don't have to save them for the holidays. Like we said, there's the Thanksgiving and the Christmas weeks. There's 20 weeks because there's 18 regular weeks plus those 2 holiday weeks in the Survivor contest. I mean, that's tough because as well as Houston's defense has played, their offense has not played well. Now, I understand why they're 7-point favorites against Tennessee. So, and Tennessee has not won a game. They have covered some spreads, but they're 0-3, and they haven't looked very good. Their offense they're even worse than Houston. So, just winning the game, they're in Houston. You know, it's a home game for them. Not surprised that this is a very popular selection in Survivor. Again, now we drop down significantly, though. We go from some big numbers here in 1 and 2. I mean, 1,830 is still a lot, but it's almost half of what these ones are. And that is the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals at home. This was also a very one-sided betting market. Denver went from 7 to 7.5, which, you know, you need. That's some big money to move that number like that. So a lot of people are backing the Broncos here. I almost went with the Bengals just to be contrarian, plus the 7.5. But, you know, I've been watching Denver and their defense. They're good. They haven't played up to the level that they were last year, but they are getting better each week. And Jake Browning has not shown me anything. The Bengals have not been able to run the ball at all. I mean, they've got like no yards Chase Brown does. And the wide receivers, as great as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are, they've been like non-existent for the most part. So the defense hasn't been all that great. I mean, they've kept them in some games. They've obviously won the game against Jacksonville, but yeah, I don't I don't blame anybody for taking Denver here because even if they don't cover that 7.5, I don't think they're going to lose this one. It's at home, and they are getting better. Then we've got the Detroit Lions. 1,487 selections taking on the Cleveland Browns. And depending on where you're at, it could be 8.5, 8, 9, whatever the number is there. Big number for Detroit. And obviously last week, the Cleveland Browns were the team that knocked out the most entries when they pulled off the upset against the Green Bay Packers and knocked almost 2,000 entries out all by themselves. They've got a great defensive front. The defense plays well because when you've got to Green Bay had 3 guys blocking Myles Garrett on some of those plays. And Malik Collins was just all over Jordan Love. I think he had like 2 sacks or 2.5 sacks. I mean, the defense was really putting pressure on him because you've got to put so many guys on Myles Garrett. If you try to put him one-on-one, I mean, as good as Detroit's offensive line is, I don't think they could anybody on that offensive line could handle him one-on-one for a full game. And Myles Garrett can wreck your offensive game plan. But, again, I don't see Detroit losing this game. But I didn't want to lay that big number with Detroit. And I don't know what kind of offensive output you're going to get from Flacco and this offense. I'm just wondering when they're going to go to Dylan Gabriel or if they're going to even play Shedeur Sanders. I mean, Gabriel's the number 2 quarterback, so he's next in line. But, like, are you just going to continue to put the ghost of Joe Flacco out there? And I mean, they were down 10-0, and then they came back in that game. It was just such a weird ending. And then, obviously, Detroit looked great. They looked like juggernauts against Baltimore in their injury shortened defense. And the way but Aiden Hutchinson's he was like the only guy really getting pressure. You know, they need some other guys to step up on the defensive side of the ball. One of their DBs, I think it's Johnson. He's been getting toasted a couple times. So, and then as the scroll comes across with New England minus 5.5 as one of my picks. New England is the 5th most popular pick this week in Survivor at just over 1,000 entries, 1,029. If you don't know, New England would have knocked me out of Survivor week 1. So I definitely have my trepidations about using them, but I also believe they're going to win this game. I believe they're going to win by at least 7. And so I'm not surprised that they're also a very popular play because they are, a 5.5-point favorite against a Carolina Panthers team that has not played exceedingly well, although they did get a win last week, 30-0. It really was a strange result considering that the Falcons actually outplayed them statistically. Oregon's moving the ball. So that's the top 5 for Survivor. And now we've got the Grandissimo. The $100,000 buy-in. Winner takes all. 58 entries remaining out of the original 69. There was 10 eliminated last week. 8 with the Packers, 2 with the Falcons. And this week, no surprise, kind of similar to Survivor with the big spread. 18 entries going with the Bills out of the 58 that remain. So no surprise there. I'm wondering why some of these other people are trying to save the Bills. But then you've got the Texans at 17, so just behind Buffalo. Again, playing the Titans. Expected to win this game. 7 to 7.5 point favorites at home. Offense hasn't looked very good. Defenses look outstanding. And they've lost some of those games that they lost were so fluky. I mean, they were driving to beat the Rams. They really had a chance to beat the Bucs. They had a chance to beat, I can't think of who else they lost to. But all 3 of the games, they were right in it. The Jags. And they fumbled the ball away going in for what would have been the winning score. So, Texans played better than their record. Tennessee has not. They've actually got some injuries on the defense that concerns me. Texans can't run the ball, though. Their offensive line has not been good, and it's been leading to Stroud making mistakes, and they're getting pressure on them. But this is a game they should win here. So, again, not surprised that they're the number 2 selection. Talked about it. Lions are 11. Broncos 6. Patriots 3. Chargers 2. And the Packers 1. So, no conflicting choices right now. Nobody's head-to-head where there are definitely going to be some eliminations. But we'll get to that point eventually, especially when you get to the holiday weeks when you've only got 6 teams or 8 teams to choose from. Usually 6, I think. And depending on who you used, you might end up conflicted against some of the entries and almost guarantee that somebody's getting knocked out. But so there you have it. The Grandissimo $100,000 buy-in selections for Week 4 of the NFL season. Let's see if we can refresh this and see if they put the actual PDF up yet or not. Not yet. Let me go back here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they haven't released a full. Here's this is what we got. Is this the PDF? No. That's the link to VSiN. So we'll have to wait on this one for now. Let me switch over to this for now. We're still 3-3, third quarter. And like I said, we got some great baseball games today too. Where are we at? Okay, so the Rangers and the Guardians are 2-2. Detroit won earlier today. If Detroit wins and the Guardians lose, they would have one game up on the Guardians with 1 game remaining in the season for the AL Central. And the Guardians are still in a dogfight with, I want to say, Houston in the American League for the wild card spot. And then you've got the Reds who have to keep up with the Mets. The Mets won earlier today, 5-0 against the Marlins. The Mets, I don't know if they can lock in that final wild card spot, because I think the Reds have the season head-to-head tiebreaker. So if they win, the Mets win, they're still tied. All right, let me bring this up. There's a wild card. Yeah, so Houston and Cleveland are battling, or Houston and the Astros essentially are battling with Detroit, depending on who wins the AL Central for that final wild card spot in the AL. And in the the National League, you've got the Mets and the Bengals, the Reds, battling for their final spot. All the other ones have been decided in that league, pretty sure. I mean, the Yankees and Toronto are still going, still battling for the division title, with Toronto has the head-to-head lead against the Yankees. So if they finish tied, which they are tied now, there's 1 game tomorrow. If they were to finish tied, if both teams win or both teams lose, Toronto would take the American League East. The Yankees would be the wild card. Boston would be the wild card. And one of these two is going to end up with a wild card unless somehow Houston jumps over the loser of the Central. And same thing, you got Phillies, Brewers, Dodgers are the division winners. The Cubs are in the next wild card. San Diego's right behind them. And then again, you've got the Mets and the Reds battling for that last spot. So big games going on in baseball tomorrow during the NFL Sunday. So I'm going to have the quad box going on the big screen here. And I've got a 29-inch monitor for my computer. I'll have the games on, whatever is going to be on television for the baseball tomorrow. And I got my computer screen as well. So I'm going to be definitely multi-screening it up as much as possible. I know Amazon Prime Day is coming up. I've been already eyeballing the TV sales. And I'll tell you what, though, I live on the 3rd floor. I got a 65-inch flat screen. That fucking thing is still heavy. Getting it up them stairs, man, it's a pain in the ass. There's no elevator in my building, so it sucks carrying that thing up the steps. So I'm always like, whatever I buy, the first thought is, how the hell am I going to get it up there? Because if it's too heavy or it's too big, It ain't coming. Even though I do have a balcony, which I could always use ropes and pulleys. For those who don't know, I used to actually build movie theaters for AMC. I used to travel around the country, and when you're putting speakers on the stages and the speakers that are hanging from the ceilings, like in the Primes and the Dolbys and all that, and the IMAXs, you have to use ropes and pulleys to get the speakers up there, and then you use lifts and shit to secure them in place. So I know what I'm doing when it comes to using the ropes and pulleys, but I don't like having to do it if I can avoid it. Oh shit. What do we got? Penn State with a turnover? What happened? Man, Oregon was going in for the score there. And man, that is loud in Happy Valley. Look at that whiteout. Georgia's down by 10 though. Man, it's going to be a bad day. Oh yeah, fumble. Nice. Huge play. Huge play for Penn State there. Well, yeah, so if any of you are baseball fans, I don't know, any baseball fans out there? Oops. I don't think there's anyone out there, if I'm being honest with you. I think I'm talking to the air, but I don't mind. We're going to build this thing. We're going to build this channel. So I'm a Tampa Bay Rays fan. I grew up in that area. Tampa Bay Buccaneers were like the laughing stock when I was growing up. That's how I became an Atlanta Falcons fan, along with Deion Sanders and MC Hammer, Too Legit to Clit, all that bullshit. I was like 11, 12 years old when that came out and thought it was super cool. And I've been a fan ever since. But I'm a Tampa Bay Rays fan, and they lost to the Blue Jays, but I would certainly... I want the Yankees to suffer. The Blue Jays, they're not really the team that gives the Tampa Bay Rays shit all the time. It's Boston and New York. You know, they've been the dominant teams that used to pound us into the ground when the team was terrible all those years ago. So I like to see them lose. Plus, when I lived in New York, I have a lot of family in New York. My mom and my dad are both from New York, and I have a lot of New York Yankee fans in my family. So I don't like them having that bragging rights over me either. So I don't care if Tampa Bay loses to the Blue Jays tomorrow, and I really hope the Yankees lose. I kind of root for the Mets just because when I was living in New York, I kind of adopted them and the Knicks as well. So I kind of root for them too because they're in the National League. So I would like to see the Mets get that final wild card spot. It'd be something stupid where they get in, by one game, the last game of the season, they'll make it all the way to the World Series. You know what I mean? Something stupid like that'll happen. So, it'll be fluky. Like the Cubs already lost one of their starting pitchers. I mean, there's some shit going on in the world of baseball. But all right, enough about the MLB. It's the NFL contest show with the college football watch party. And here we are, still 3-3. Penn State, though, they got the ball first and goal. No, that's not right. Oh, they're calling him down. Oh, that was brutal. Brutal. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. As long as they get the call right, that's all that really matters. You know what I mean? That's the last thing you want is from them to get the call wrong, which we've seen happen. I mean, what was up with that play on Thursday Night Football? The Seattle Seahawks guy intercepts the ball. He's running it back. He gets kind of knocked into by his own guy going for the block. I mean, any video you saw looked like his knee was down before the ball came loose, and they confirmed it. Like, what the hell is that? And they're like, oh, they didn't have the right angle? Like, bullshit. It's Thursday Night Football. They got cameras everywhere. They still ended up winning the game, but that was still early in the game when that happened. And Oregon takes the lead. Oops, wrong one. Unbelievable. Let's go check VSIN again. Let's see if they've or actually, why am I checking this one? I need to check Circa. Circa is the one that's going to release the full PDF. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let me turn this off for a second. Ooh, let me change that. All right, so he did make the extra point. Let me pull this up real quick. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Damn it. What am I doing? I'm like over here messing up. Messing all this up. I put it in the wrong one. That's why. All right. So we've got the first one up. Oops. One more file to add. Let me just add. I got one more to add while we're waiting on the kickoff here. One more file, and then we could talk about the rest of these lines. Okay, now we're in business. So we've got the week 4 survivor line, or the Circa Millions lines up here, the selections. And we've already gone over the top 5, and we've got some selections in the top 5. We have the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Seahawks were the more popular side. They ended up covering that. 584, that's quite a bit. But, I mean, I guess a lot of people felt confident about their other 4 because you do have to submit them all at the same time. We talked about a top 5. I mean, look at that. There's more than 1,000 more selections are on the Vikings and on the Steelers. So I'm glad that I didn't go with Minnesota, and I'm also glad I didn't go with the Steelers because I liked Minnesota's chances here. But you gotta, these sports books, man, they set these lines. They don't, they don't make too many mistakes when it comes to these lines. And laying the 2.5, we've talked about it. It is the most popular spread chosen in the Circa Millions since its inception. People choose minus 2.5 more than any other spread. Next up, Eagles and Buccaneers. Not surprised that the Bucs are the more popular side, getting the hook. Fishy line, I didn't like it. Because of that, I was going to go with Philly minus the 3.5 just to go contrarian. But again, they did struggle against the... Go Georgia. They did struggle against the Rams defense, and now they're going up against the Bucs, who has had their number in recent years. Although the Bucs do have some guys out, they're getting some guys back. Who knows how they're going to play in their first game back from injuries, especially like Godwin, who's been out for a long time with a serious injury. So if he even plays, he's going to be on like a snap count, I'm sure. But the Bucs, the more popular side here, by about 250 or so. Saints and Bills, no surprise there. I mean, you've got fewer people picking this game than you did the Thursday night game because you're either laying 15.5 or you're taking 15.5 with a Saints team against, one of the best offenses in the NFL right now. That's looked basically unstoppable. So they're definitely not a lot of action on this one, but go Saints, man. I hope they win the game outright. It'd be awesome. I mean, there'll be so much chaos on social media of all the people that are going to get their selections knocked out because somebody had it on. I think it was Last Man Standing, or the podcast. That there's really only for as many entries as there are, there's only maybe 45% are actual individuals because there's just so many people have multiple entries. So a lot of people are, they have multiple entries on the Bills this week. So if somehow the Saints were to pull off the upset, not only are they losing, but they're going to lose 5 entries. 5 opportunities to win $5,000, and that's $5,000 out of their pocket. Next up is another game that we're on. Patriots minus 5.5. The more popular side with 1,003 at 667. So, I'm getting concerned. I know that we haven't been running hot, and when you're on the popular side, man, it's always makes you nervous. But the books moved this line originally. It went all the way from 3.5 to 5.5. But they've been stuck at 5.5. It hasn't moved. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with my decision. You can't control the outcome. All you can do is make the best decision possible and live with the results. So that's where we are. And I'm fine laying the 5.5 with the Patriots. It almost was one that I eliminated, but I couldn't find anything I liked better. So then the next up is the Falcons and the Commanders. Boy, this does not instill confidence when you have nearly 1,200 more selections on one side than the other. No, I know a lot of people are doing this just for the line value. Like I said, it's sitting at minus 2.5 out there right now. And we are on the Falcons. So we are riding with the number 1 pick in the contest this week. We're going to see how it works out for us. Browns plus 9.5. Look at this. 1,327 people laid it with the Lions. Only 402 people were willing to take the points with the Browns. So go Browns, man. I mean, the Lions were a popular selection in the Survivor, so I'd like to see them win. I have a hard time seeing how they get that done, but backdoor cover 9.5. Score a late touchdown. I don't know if the Lions are going to pull out all these exotic plays and crazy design plays against the Browns defense. I think they're going to just try to use their strength, their offensive line, get out of there with a win. Ooh, Georgia's down. First and goal down. Well, they got second and goal inside the 1 yard line. I need Georgia to win by 3 at least. The touchdown by Oregon's killing me. I was hoping to at least go 2-2 and just lose the juice. Now I'm staring at a 4-0. I mean 0-4. They call penalty on Georgia? Son of a bitch. All right, then another game that nobody... It seems funny because there's a lot of people who are on the Texans in the Survivor contest, yet they didn't want to lay the full 7. 626 to 509, so a little over 100 selections difference, but very low numbers altogether for both sides here. So nobody was really confident in either side in this one. I originally thought about going with the Titans plus the 7, but I just couldn't. I couldn't find a way to get myself to like the Titans plus 7, and I didn't want to lay a full touchdown with a Texans team whose offense has struggled to score points all year. Another one that we're contrarian on. This Chargers minus the 6.5, 1,575. This was a top 5 selection. Taking on the New York Giants with their new quarterback, Jackson Dart. We are on the Giants, as you can see down here in the slide, plus the 6.5, 680. So just around 900 more on the Chargers. And yeah, I like that. I like being on the contrarian side at least. Chargers got it done for everybody last week. They were the number 1 pick in the millions, and they were the only team of the top 5 to actually cover the spread. So I'm not surprised that they were very popular in going against a rookie quarterback. All right, Georgia scored a touchdown. Make the extra point. We're within 3. Let's go, dogs. Let's go, dogs. So I do like it. Come on, Jackson Dart. Come on, Malik Neighbors. And come on, defense. Put some pressure on Justin Herbert. Make him throw some questionable passes. And then we've got the Jags and 49ers. No surprise here that Jacksonville's the favorite side. They're getting 3 in the hook against a 49ers team that just lost their best defensive player. Been dealing with injuries all year, but they are 3-0. So they've been playing well. Their defense is playing well, but they're like stars and scrubs, their defense. They they have really great players, and they have a bunch of guys you've never heard of. But they're going to have to step up with Bosa out. Jags, I could only go with the 49ers because the Jags, although they've won last week for us, they did not look good in doing so. They really struggled offensively. Their defense is very opportunistic, and that's what's been keeping them in games. But with the turnovers and everything, but the Jaguars' offense has not looked up to snuff. The running game's been better, but Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, man. He's been throwing inaccurate. He's throwing an interception in each game this year. Thomas still has the drop issue. I know he'll get over it, but when? So I just couldn't get behind it. I should have gone, but the injuries for the 49ers kept me off this. But Jaguars are the popular side with 3 in the hook. No surprise there. This is shocking because I'm on the Rams minus the 3.5, and it's in the top 5. Why so many people didn't go with the Colts plus the 3.5? It makes me a little concerned because, I'm looking at it as the Colts are overrated because they've played some inferior competition so far. I mean, they should have lost to Denver. They were very fortunate to win that one. They very easily could have, the first game they won pretty handily. They could not be undefeated, though, and I just don't think the competition has been the greatest so far. And now they're about to face the best team they've faced so far this season. And I think the Rams are going to come in prepared. Although they do struggle. I've seen a thing where they really struggle against the spread in their first game back from a loss on the East Coast. So let's see if McVay can get his troops ready. Hopefully he can, because that's one of our 5 picks. Oh, shit. They're going to give it to him? No, still short. 4th and 1 for the Ducks. So let's go Rams. Bears and Raiders. Bears looked great against Dallas's porous defense, though they were missing their best DBs last week. So no surprise there. So Raiders are getting almost 1,200 selections off of that disastrous loss we had. We had them last week, and they didn't get it done. They weren't even. There was a momentary spot in the fourth quarter where they could have maybe gotten it within the number, but that was when they went for the onside kick, and then Washington ended up scoring another touchdown, and there was absolutely no way they were going to do it then. But now everybody's back on the Geno train. This Raiders offensive line is terrible. I thought about the Raiders. I had the Raiders slide made up. Home team, the Bears looked great last week. They've got some injuries on defense. They're not good against the run. The Raiders should be able to run the ball here, even with their bad offensive line. But I don't know what kind of protection they're going to be able to give Geno. And I'm just not impressed with Geno. And I couldn't go with the Bears because it was too obvious to take the Bears after last week's performance against the Cowboys. But yeah, 1,200. So just outside the top 5 there for the Raiders. So a lot of fans of the Raiders. There's going to be a lot of Bears fans in Vegas. So it's going to be a 50-50 crowd probably. Chicago's going to definitely have some backers. Ravens and Chiefs, best game of the late window, or one of the better games. I'll tell you what, the Colts and Rams and the Chiefs and Ravens, man, you got some good games going on in the late window. Not too bad. Jags and 49ers, I mean, are they 2-1 against 3-0? See how that works out for everybody. But Ravens and Chiefs. Ravens minus 2.5 in Arrowhead are the much popular team. Oh, they're the looks like the 6th pick with 1,354 and only 687. A lot of people fading Patty Mahomes as a home dog, which is a place where the guy has excelled. But I will something that got concerning, and which was probably not much into the handicapping because it just came out after the selections were due. But Chris Jones was put on the injury report for personal reasons. What's up with that? If he's not playing, Chiefs are really in trouble. Because he is like the straw that stirs the drink for that defensive front. Without him in there, they don't, you don't worry about him. He's like the Myles Garrett for them, where you've got to account for him and makes the other guys have one-on-one opportunities that they can win. But, yeah, I'm not surprised that the Ravens are the popular side. I mean, their defense has been giving up 30 whatever points a game. Their offense has also been scoring over 30 points a game. So the Chiefs have not looked like the Chiefs of the last few years, but that's what happens to dynasties. Guys get old. They're playing more and more games into the postseason. The Chiefs have played into the Super Bowl the last 3 years, so they're playing all these extra games. And it starts to wear on teams, and you're starting to see that. But they're also getting some of their offensive firepower back, which could have an effect on the outcome of this game. It's just 2.5. Again, most popular number to lay, minus 2.5. Because people look at it as laying less than a field goal. It's the most popular number. No surprise here. Ravens minus 2.5 as the popular side. We have no action on this game, so I am more than happy to sit back and watch. Oh, Oregon just scored. Oh no. I think our Penn State minus 3.5 is El Tosto without some without a shock play, without a explosive that gets us a touchdown. I don't know if they've got the horses, man. Oregon's going to be in the top 3. They win this game. Ohio State will still be number 1. And he makes it. Put them up 17-3. 17-3. But yeah, so I'm not surprised the Ravens are the popular side here. They I want nothing to do with this game because I want to be able to just sit back and watch it. I would have took the Ravens too, even though they burned me last week. They've got me 1 point when they covered against the Browns and they've lost. So same boat as the Falcons, but I didn't use them 3 weeks in a row like I did Atlanta. Packers and Cowboys. Packers, the number 2 selected team. I talked about having the Cowboys less than 400. Wow. So there is 1,435 more entries on the Packers than there is on the Cowboys. It would have been nice to be on the Cowboys just to be on that contrarian side and that contest pick play. But this is week 4. And as much as I would have liked to have been on that, I just saw too many opportunities for the Packers to win this game by margin. They've dominated the Cowboys. I think they've won the last 9 games. Some of them have been blowouts too. Now you've got Micah Parsons coming back to Dallas. Obviously, you've got Kenny Clark coming back. He's on the Cowboys, who played for the Packers forever. But Micah's the real dominant one. And the Packers have some issues on the offensive line, but so do the Cowboys. Obviously, losing CeeDee Lamb is huge. They did get back their DBs, though. Deron Bland and Travion Diggs are both going to play. So that's huge for their defense. If they can get pressure on Jordan Love and move him off of his spot the way the Browns did, they could stick around in this game, backdoor that number. I'd love to see that. I'm glad I'm not on that game so I can root for Dallas. I might even have to place a bet on it just so I have a reason to root for him. But I have a reason to root for him because I want them to cover the spread in this contest anyway. Like I said, Dallas was the last. Oh, going deep. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, my God, he dropped it. Oh, man, that was a touchdown, or at least inside the 5-yard line for Georgia. Damn it, number 11. Hit him in the hands. Don't throw it to stone hands. Damn. Yeah, he's inside the 5 if he catches that. All right, come on, Penn State. You need a big play. There we go. There we go. Still running. Don't fumble. But so I'm not surprised the number 2 pick, the Packers. Go Cowboys. My 5th selection, Dolphins, -2.5, the one that replaced the Cowboys. Only 836 selections, so less than 1,000, but only 365 on the Jets. So not a lot of love. Back to the -2.5. Obviously, I'm not immune to liking laying less than a field goal, but the extra time to prepare for Miami, I think their offense will succeed. Tua gets the ball out quickly. These DBs for the Jets are not very good. I'm not concerned about Justin Fields. I think their defense will be able to play well. They look good against Buffalo for most of that game. And if Achane and the offense can get going, I think they can just run away with this one. The Jets, they such a letdown from that game against the Bucs. It's hard to come back from that. Now they traveled to Tampa. They went back home. Then they got to travel back down to Miami. Now it is a night game, so it should be cooler out. It's not going to be as hot. But, oh, nice. Touchdown by Penn State already. That was fast. That was fast. Oh, boy, we are not out of it yet. That was what we needed. We needed the quick strike touchdown. Let's go. All right, and Georgia, get in there. Oh, that's a replay. Let's see. It's still 24-21 Alabama. 7-point game. Fourth quarter, 10 minutes to go. All right. But I am on the Dolphins. I am on the Dolphins for my 5th pick. So, I mean, I like that it's not one of the more popular picks, but it's more than double what the Jets selections are. So let's hope that the Miami Dolphins don't completely shit the bed and Tua and everybody just throws in the towel on their coach and plays for pride, protect their home field. And then the Broncos and the Bengals. Broncos were a popular pick in the Survivor contest, but they only got 778, laying more than a touchdown with the Bengals, with an offense that should be able to score points, with a quarterback who could play well if he stops throwing it to the other team. And we've seen this guy have success before, so laying more than a touchdown, I can see that. Why it wouldn't be very popular, but it is the popular side of the game. About 300 more selections, but overall total, I mean, there's less than 1,200. Some of these games have that on just one side, so not a lot of faith in the Broncos and the Bengals game, although the Broncos are the popular side. That was the side I was going to go with, but I was like, no, it's going to be popular. It wasn't that popular, but I'm still glad I'm not on it. That way I can root against them. Root for the Bengals to backdoor it. All right, so those are the Week 4 selections for the Circa Millions. Next up, we've got the Survivor, the full list of Survivor entries. Again, Buffalo, number 1, 4,130. That's 30% of the entire field, so go Saints if you're in this one, not on the Bills. Just under 3,700 for the Texans, 26.7%. Broncos were the 3rd pick. As we've said, they were popular in the Survivor, not popular in the Millions. Although they were the popular side, they weren't one of the top. I don't even know if they're in the top 10. They're going to be outside of that more than likely. Then the Lions, surprising, only 10% of the contest, but surprising because they are a team that plays on both holidays. A lot of people are trying to save them, but all you want to advance right now. Worry about that when you get to it, I guess. Patriots, another game that we are on. Back in a mind laying the 5.5. So let's go Patriots. Hope these guys win and hope they cover the spread for us. A little over 1,000, but the big ones are these first two right here. Then it starts to drop off significantly. We got Chargers. Obviously at the Giants playing the rookie quarterback Dart, 784. Packers playing the Cowboys. No surprise there, 478. Then it really starts to get slim pickings where you can see where a lot of people are using multiple entries on the same selection. Because people are not so many are on these top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries really. 6. But the Rams, 78 selections. 49ers, 56. Dolphins, 54. Seahawks, 49. Vikings, 38. Falcons, 35. Raiders, 15. Really getting the slim pickings down here. Bears, 10. Eagles, 4. We've had 4 eliminated for the Cardinals. And that's surprising. Steelers, but they were a home team, so I guess I could see why you would want to go with them. But damn, Seattle's been playing well. Steelers with 2 entries. Jags with 2. Titans with 2. Ravens with 2. Jets with 2. Bengals 1. Browns 1. Commanders 1. And 24 people decided that they didn't care about their shot at winning $18.5 million, $18.6 million, and decided not to put in a selection. 24 people. That's $2,400. Oh, I'm sorry. That's $24,000 worth of entries that just got pissed away. I mean, give me half of that. I'll kick each one of them in the nuts, and at least they'll still have $500. What a waste not to put your selections in. I always wonder, like, what stops people from putting their selection in? I know there's a lot of people that use proxies because they live out of state, but the proxies will put your pick in right up until submission time. Even though there is a deadline, most of them say they want the picks in on Friday or Saturday, that you got to pay an extra fee or some bullshit like that. They will put the pick in for you. And a lot of times, if you have a proxy, if you don't submit a pick, they'll send you a notification saying, hey, where you at? I haven't received your pick yet. And even if they don't get you a response like 2 minutes before the submission time, they'll put in what would be the most popular pick of that week and try to give you at least a shot so you don't get the dreaded no pick. But 24 entries. Incredible. Man, so you're telling me Georgia didn't score? What the fuck happened? Oh, that's right. They called a penalty. Did he catch that? But what are the head-to-heads here? Bills are on the Saints. I don't see anyone on the Saints. No surprise there. Texans against the Titans. We have 3,694 versus 2. Broncos are on the are betting the Bengals 1 against 1,830. Lions are on the Browns. Again, it's another just 1 on the Browns. 1,487 on the Lions. 1,029 for the Patriots. Do we see the Panthers anywhere? I don't think there are no one on the Panthers. So no head-to-heads for that one. Packers. Anyone brave enough to take the Cowboys straight up? Think they'll win the game? No. Rams. Anyone brave enough to take the Colts this week as their selection? No. 49ers got the Jaguars, 2 entries versus 56, so not a big. I mean, it hurt the 49ers entries, but not a big head-to-head there. Dolphins going up against the Jets, 54-2. Obviously, we already know 49 Seahawks, they made it through. Cardinals had 4, they lost. Vikings 38 against the Steelers, 2. Falcons 35 against 1 for the Commanders. 15 on the Raiders versus the who the hell are they playing now? Chicago, so they're right there. 15-10. All right, so couple of little equal matchup kind of. You got the Eagles with 4. I don't see the Bucks anywhere. So nobody went with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They may have already used them. But 4 people on the Eagles. Again, 2 on the Steelers. We talked about that. The Jags, the Titans, the Ravens. We don't see any Chiefs, but 2 on the Ravens. And there we go. That is the Week 4 selections. I mean, again, the top 5 is really where it's at. And with the big spreads, no surprise that the Bills are the number 1 pick. But go Saints, go. I mean, I'm a Falcons fan, so I almost don't want the Saints to win because that's just an extra win for them, on their record, and I'd rather have them lose. But at the same time, I'm all about chaos, and I'm not really concerned about the Saints winning the NFC South. I would love to see them knock Buffalo off and just fucking wreck this Survivor pool. Because, it's 13,783 remain. You took out 4,000. That would just be like taking a wrecking ball to it. And the final contest at Circa is the Grandissimo. The $100,000 buy-in winner takes all contest. Started the contest with 69 entries. First place, $6.9 million to the winner. Again, I've said I don't think this contest will reach all 20 weeks. We've already seen 11 entries eliminated, and it's only week 4 out of the total of 69. But no surprise. The usual suspects. Buffalo, the big favorite, is getting 18. Texans have 17. Lions, Broncos, 3 on the Patriots, 2 on the Chargers, and 1 on the Packers. So we have no head-to-heads. And we haven't had any eliminations so far this week. No one was on Seattle or they weren't on the Cardinals. I mean, so we haven't had anybody advance. We haven't had anybody eliminated yet. What happened? Oh, Virginia Tech beat NC State. Yeah, close game, 23-21. Good game. Good game. And yeah, so this is a big contest here. And a lot of stress on these selections each week. I mean, that's $100,000. Like they said, the applied value of each one of your entries right now is 118,000, basically 119,000. So, like, say you wanted to sell one of your entries, you know what I mean? You could sell it for, basically 120,000, which you can do. There's survivor swaps that you can buy. You can buy percentages of an entry. You can buy a whole entry. Guys sell stakes in their entries. They do it for this millions too. 18 and well, this one's 6.9, but for the survivor, 18.6 million. You win a percentage of that. Not too bad. But you're betting on other people to win the contest for you. But okay, that is the selections for week 4. Let's enjoy the end of this Oregon Penn State game. 17-10. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Penn State. I need Georgia. Penn State's got to get a first down here. They need to maintain possession. I think it's third down. 3rd and 9, yeah. No, we got a player down. Commercial. Commercial. So does anybody think there's going to be a big slaughter in the Survivor this week, or do they think we're not there yet? Uh-oh. Go Georgia. Oh. They lit off all that pyrotechnics, man. There's all that smoke in the air there. right, come on, Penn State. You need a first down, man. 3rd and 9. Quarterback draw. Oh, he's going to get it too. Damn. What a play. What a play. And then Alabama makes a great play against Georgia to stop them. It was 4th and 1. Did they shut him out? They did. Why didn't you go for the field goal? I mean, I get it. You want to score a touchdown to take the lead, but damn, tie the game. Yeah, you got them down inside their own 10-yard line, but come on, man. You have an opportunity to tie the game. Alabama just blew that up. 2 guys in the backfield. They'll be questioning that decision. All right, I gotta get something to drink. All right, I'm back. Another run, 3rd and 2 now for Penn State. But they need a touchdown. Oh boy. All right, incomplete on 2nd down. 3rd and 9 for Alabama. So, I mean, if they can hold them here, they're going to get the ball back. There's plenty of time in the 4th quarter, but boy, how do you not tie the game up there? That's tough. While we're seeing, let's take a sneak peek at this. So the Astros are now winning. Tigers held on to win. Mets won, obviously, earlier. Guardians won. And the Reds won. So, yeah, we knew that. So, we're still tied in the Central. 1 game to go. Tied in the AL East with 1 game to go. And the Mets and the Reds are tied up for the final wild card spot in the National League. And Houston's still battling for that. And they're winning right now, right? Yeah, 3-0 over the Angels. So, All right. We got a 4th and 1 going on here. Oh, and Alabama got the first down. Damn it. He's chewing up clock now. Come on, dogs. All the pundits will be barbecuing the Georgia coach if they end up losing this game after he didn't kick that field goal. Who thinks they should have kicked it? Okay. Come on, Penn State. Still got the ball. 5 minutes. The clock's running. First down. First down. That was definitely the brotherly shove there. He wasn't even pushing his own man. He was pushing the guy that was on top of the guy and moved him forward because he wasn't down. Incredible. Football, dude. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Let them know. Help me out. Help me grow. I haven't been able to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I can't unlock features of the channel until I do. So I need subscribers. I need to win. So who the hell wants to listen to somebody run their mouth and then goes 2-3, 6-9 over the last 3 weeks? So, what happened? False start on Penn State. Yeah, they had all kinds of motion and shit going on there. Let's go. Come on, Georgia. 1st and 10 again. False start on Alabama. Back them up. We need that. I laid the -2 with Georgia because I didn't want to take the money line because it was like -130. But if this game goes into overtime, it could get funky if they start having to do 2-point conversions and shit. Oh, it's 100% 4-down territory for Penn State. They need a touchdown. What are you going to do? Punt? All right, so Alabama completes the pass, but for a short gain, 3 yards maybe. Oh, he's running it. Go. Oh, and he's within, what, 2 yards? Penn State 2 yards shy, 4th down. Got to make a play. They've got all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. Come on, Georgia. Come on, people want to get laid tonight. You're at home. They want to party tonight. Wow. That's surprising. I know it's 4th down, but I'm surprised that they would waste a time out there. But I know it's critical down, but like you want to save that. Yeah, you do have the 2-minute timeout, which could be your 3rd, but man, they definitely got to get it now. Come on, Georgia. Put some pressure on him. Nice. Nice defense. 4th down. No flags. Incomplete pass. Broken up by the DB for Georgia. He really just missed it. It was just an awkward throw. The DB just didn't give him any room to catch it. Come on. All right, we're getting the ball back. No mistakes here. All right, he's not even going to field it. It's downed inside the 5. Right around the 5-yard line. So Georgia's got a long way to go. They can get in the field goal range and tie it. He got the 1st down. He got it. He got it. Penn State got the 1st down. All right, come on, get to the line and get another playoff before the 2-minute timeout. Don't let them breathe. You got them on their heels now. They're tired. They've given up a couple of 4th down conversions now. They're not really feeling very good about themselves. Come on, don't waste it. All right, they snap it. Flips it out to the back in a little wheel route type of deal. Little orbit route. Oh, he's still going. Damn, he got 9 yards out of that. That was like a rugby scrum. That was a rugby scrum for Penn State. They just pushed their running back like 6 yards, 5 yards, the whole pile. His feet probably weren't even touching the ground. All right, come on. Because there is a scenario where the game goes into overtime and Penn State can cover that -3.5. So I'd rather see overtime, but they got to score a touchdown. So don't go for 2, Franklin. we've got Colorado just scored their second touchdown, and they're beating BYU, who's ranked right now, ranked inside the top 20. They're up 13-0 with an extra point coming up. They are in Boulder. What are we looking at here? This guy that played this Powers character in that show they made about the Eli Manning character, which looks stupid, but all of a sudden you're seeing this guy in everything. All right, promoting the Winter Olympics. All right, Georgia. What is it? 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Plenty of time. But you need to score. Uh-oh. Another one of those end around type deals. The jet sweeps with the receiver, and it was good. Get him a first down. Got him out from the shadow of their end zone. Second and 3, Penn State at the 13-yard line. Got to score a touchdown. They hand it off. And he got a little bit closer to the first down. They need another half a yard. It's third down, so. QB sneak. He's going to push him. Got it. They got the first down inside the 10. 58 seconds. Clock stops as they reset the chains. Okay, what's going on with Georgia? Why are they backed up again? They got a 10-yard penalty. Damn. Oh, shoveled it. Nice. Touchdown, Penn State. Touchdown. Man, that was awesome. Nice play. Extra point away from tying this game. Ooh, that came close. That was close. That was a. You're gonna see that play run in the NFL soon. It wasn't like the Detroit play. They handed it off to then pitched it. Mm-hmm. All right. Got the first down. Let's go, Georgia. Oregon's got the ball. 30 seconds remaining with 2 timeouts. Starting from their own 25-yard line. We are in full sweat mode now, folks. We've got Georgia down by 3 when we've got a -2. And we've got Penn State -3.5 and a tie game that if it goes to overtime, we could win it. All right, nothing there. The wide receiver screen, and they were on to it. 3-yard gain, tackled in bounds. Incomplete pass. 10 seconds to go, third down, maybe 7. Yeah, they're going to run it. They'll hand it off to the back. Hope he breaks one. Oh, that's coming back. That receiver just held them for Georgia. That sucks. Yep, and they run the ball. Oregon runs the ball. And Penn State does call a timeout with 4 seconds remaining to see if they can maybe block the punt. Something. Block it, return it. So Georgia, who was going for it on 4th down, is now punting with 3.5 to go. All 3 timeouts. Not going for that field goal sucks. Especially when their defense has been playing so well. I mean, I understand going for the win. But they still have plenty of time left in the game, which I guess is why you go for the touchdown. But all right, we've got overtime. Overtime. Putting in some overtime. what we need, or what I need, is for Penn State to score a touchdown and then stop Oregon from scoring. That is the only scenario in which I win this. But we have life, and this is football. It's such a weird game. An oblong ball that does not bounce normal. BYU was down there and looked like they were going to score a touchdown. Now it looks like they're going for a field goal. Yeah, they got to get some kind of points. They're down 14-0. And he made it. Number 25 BYU is, so they're just inside the top 25, it says. I asked a question on X. I'm going to have to see. I'll put it on here too. Does the college football champion have an undefeated record? Do they go all the way through the regular season and through the playoffs without losing? Ohio State still in it. These two teams, one of these teams is going to still be undefeated. Georgia is undefeated at the moment. So is BYU. I mean, there's undefeated teams still that are in the top 25. We had some teams lose, though, this week. And it's just weird. You know, when you get, like, especially like SEC or the Big Ten, you know, you're going to get two ranked teams versus one another at points throughout the season. I mean, who was it? Illinois beat USC today after Illinois got boat raced last week by Indiana. Indiana, I think, almost lost to Iowa, but they ended up winning. Oh, yeah, here we go. They got it up right now. Miami didn't play. LSU lost to Ole Miss. So, I mean, there's a bunch of teams that were in the top 10 that lost. I just wonder who's going to make it all the way through that gauntlet undefeated and into the play and through the playoffs undefeated. All right, so here we go. Penn State's got the ball first. And they get 5 on their first run. Come on, Penn State. Nice little RPO. Take it all the way. Oh, he's inside the 5. Down to the 4-yard line. First down, Penn State. He made the right read. They ran the RPO and he gave it to the back when the end crashed down. Bing. Yep, he almost tackled the quarterback. And the other guy had the ball. All right, first and goal, Penn State. Oh, he's in. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. We are waiting on the extra point. I think it's the first, yeah, the first overtime. It's extra points. And then everyone after that, it's you got to go for 2. It's either first or second. I'm pretty sure it's the first. Yeah, that's a touchdown all day. All day. So this is perfect setting up. This is setting up perfectly for me right now. Because now that they've scored the touchdown, they're covering. And I just need them to not give up a touchdown. Georgia's going to lose, though. They've got to stop them. 2nd and 3, 2.5 minutes to go. Them not being able to move the ball off their own goal line was brutal. They got that penalty. Bring the heat. And they running it. And did he get it or is it 3rd down? It's short. Half a yard. 6 inches. Alabama gets a first down, and then all of a sudden the clock becomes a real issue. Here we go. We need Penn State to stop them. Turnover or interception or something is just be lovely right now. Because the worst situation is when they the first team to have the possession of the ball doesn't score, because then all the other teams got to do is kick a fucking field goal. And you know how they alternate. So it's going to be Oregon that goes first next time. If they don't score next time, Penn State could just kick a field goal and be done. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Damn. They had him on the run, but he found his man. First down, Oregon. He saw it wasn't there, and he went to the right guy. Down to the 14. Damn. Alabama's got that first down. They were going to get that. They got them gigantic offensive linemen. Here we go. Penn State's bringing the heat. Fumble! Oh, who's got it? Oh, they got it back. Damn. Damn, Oregon fumbled the ball in the exchange between the quarterback and the running back. Oh, it bumped into his arm. He missed the spot. And the running back wasn't really looking the ball in. Woo, that was close. That was almost close to a winner, folks. Damn, 2nd down. Damn. QB sneak up the middle. 3rd down. He took a big hit too. They gained about 5 yards there. Obviously 2 down territory. 4 down territory all the way through, so that was a good tackle because he was going down. No targeting. Didn't hit him in the head. Make a play, somebody. Come on, defense, make a play. Oh, slant over the middle. He's a yard short. It's 4th down. 4th and 1. I think if you're Oregon, when they get it to the line, you call your timeout. When they show their cards, they got 1 timeout. Use it. Because you're going to go into the other. They're using theirs. Or Oregon's going to use theirs. Yeah. Oh. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. I mean, he did hit helmet to helmet. Fuck. That's about as blatant as it gets. Hmm. I mean, he is keeping his head up. They hit face to face. Man, if they do that, they're nice. So it's fourth down. They didn't call it. He was right. The Terry McCauley was right. He said he hit him with the his basically his forehead. Like they went face to face. He didn't launch himself. Fourth and one. Fourth and one at the. So are they going to call timeout? Somebody's got to call timeout here once they line up. Fourth and one at the 4-yard line. Call timeout, Penn State. No, going to let it play out. Quarterback sneak. He got the first down. Mm. Mm. I'm shocked Penn State didn't call their timeout right there to see the offensive formation. Shovel pass. Did he get in? Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Damn, damn, damn. Yeah, I was going to say that looked awfully funky there. I thought it was a fumble. He just pinballed his way through everybody. They'll miss a fucking extra point or something. Something to blow the spread. All right. We are tied once again, everybody. Once again. And we are going to the sixth quarter. Another OT, the second overtime. I've been so focused on this Penn State, I haven't even been paying attention to Georgia. They're still down 3. 1:55 to go, second and 4. One timeout remaining for Georgia. They get a first down here. Alabama gets a first down here. It's over. No parties in Athens tonight. Ooh, nice. Negative play by Georgia. And they're going to use their final timeout. Well, it went from second and 4 to third and 7, so Georgia has an opportunity to get the ball back with about a minute and 20 seconds left. I don't know how they didn't use it there. That was easy. One play, one score. One play, one score. Are they going for one or two? Georgia just, or Alabama just won. Georgia just lost. Boy, I really hope today's outcomes weren't a representation of what's to come tomorrow. Oh, intercepted. So now Penn State's got to score a touchdown but not get the two-pointer. This reminds me of the LSU Texas A&M game. I had it was A&M, I think, plus 2.5. And that was the game that went to like 7 overtimes. And like every time a team would score, my needs completely changed. Like, okay, like LSU scores the touchdown, so now I need them to get the two-pointer. If they score if they don't score or whatever, it was just back and forth if you watch that game. And with the plus 2.5, but Texas A&M ended up winning that one. I ended up covering that spread. So let's see. But essentially, we need. Oh, that's it. Game. Georgia just intercepted Penn State's quarterback, and that is game. Game over, folks. I went 0-4 today. What a day on the parlay. And it hit 54. The spread was 53 and a half. I almost bet the under 53 and a half too. Either way, it would have got boned. Number 6 takes down number 3 Oregon. Wow. What a finish. He threw it right. Like, they basically read that perfectly. Yep, Georgia lost. They got the first down and just ran the clock out. Oh, boy. What are you going to do? But that's why I don't bet big on college football. Like I said, I don't really follow it like I do the NFL. One thing is there's like so many teams. Now, I have like talked to people, professional gamblers, and they're like, well, just focus on one conference. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to follow all of college football. You can just follow certain conferences, one conference, till you get really good and know the coaches, know the coordinators, that kind of shit. Know who the recruits are and everything else. But there's just so many teams, it's hard to follow them all. That's why I kind of just stick to the big primetime games because, one side or the other, one of them's going to win. But all right, we are done with the college football watch party part of this stream. Thank you for joining the NFL contest show by itself without the second half live stream will be available on YouTube here shortly. I just have to upload it once I'm done. Once we're done here, and that'll be available. And that's about 45 minutes. That has all the picks for week 4 of the Circa Millions contest. If you did not see that earlier, but we do have them right here. I can go through it one last time. We are. Let's get all the way to the beginning. We are on the Giants plus 6.5, Patriots minus 5.5, Falcons plus 1, which was the number 1 selection, by the way. Los Angeles Rams minus 3.5, which was the number 4 selection, I think it was. And then the Miami Dolphins minus 2.5. So we got 2 in the top 5. And one that's contrarian, the Giants, to number 5. But we will be live Thursday for the Rams San Francisco 49ers Thursday Night Football with the Week 5 line release, Circa Millions. And we'll be discussing the lines and what games we're looking at, what games we're interested in, what games we're staying away from, and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. And then we've also got late night at the lounge after Monday Night Football, at the conclusion of Monday Night Football, discussing this week's results and, again, some early picks for Week 5. Well, to everyone, I want to thank you for joining me, watching this incredible football game. It was certainly one to remember, and, it's one they won't forget anytime soon, I can tell you that much. Road teams win both games, and I go 0-4 with the parlay pick, so it is what it is. But all right, everybody, we'll be back Monday night at the conclusion of the Monday Night Football games, 2 games this week, and thank you for watching. Hopefully all your bets hit today and tomorrow.